The Edo state government marked the 33rd anniversary of the state's creation with a series of events. The highlight of the celebrations was the unveiling of new master plans for Edo State and Benin City, which promised to shape the region's future development for the next 30 years.
In the course of today's events, you will be seeing that the pathway to the new Edo nation is through education. And if you have a closer look at that symbol, you will understand that light is it.
The governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, spoke on the importance of planning for the future. He highlighted the progress made by his administration since taking office in 2016 and expressed hope for the state's continued growth.
When we started this journey of reforming Edo, we had to take some very, very difficult and painful policies and steps. There was absolutely no way, after we assumed office in 2016, were we going to allow Edo continue the way we met it. I'm not going to stand here today to reel out all we have done, but what became very clear to us after we resumed office in 2016 was that we had to reenact. We had to go back and look inwards into ourselves to rediscover who we are as Edo people. Because we had lost a sense of purpose. We seemed not to, maybe because of some recent historical accidents, know who we are. I'm not going to go into the details of what we met, of the very high level of human trafficking and almost human slavery that we saw when we came in. Today is a story of hope. We have shown in 8 years that it is possible if you have the determination. We've been able to transform our systems. We've been able to rebuild our institutions. We've been able to create hope in our people. Today, we can proudly say we are Edo. And we know that we have a glorious past, a glorious history that makes us a glorious nation. And at the end of this administration, we believe that the greatest gift or the greatest policy that we can leave behind for generations to come is the master plan that we're going to unveil tomorrow.
Governor Obaseki unveiled the master plans, detailing proposals for new infrastructure projects, including alternative sources of electricity such as solar energy and hydropower. The plans also include the development of a new airport in Auchi, rail lines and Coral City in Benin City, Auchi and Ekpoma. The governor noted that these master plans, which will be reviewed every 5 years, are designed to last until 2053.
I am very, very glad and happy today that the documents we'll be launching has taken quite a lot of issues into consideration. And we didn't wait to today to launch the plan and start implementing the plan. We have already started. For instance, this facility you are in today is part of a cultural district that we're developing in Edo State. It didn't exist 6 years ago. And we could go on and on to explain quite a lot of what we have done and the developments we have made in the last 8 years. We've built. So this plan for us is to help us begin a culture or reenact that culture, that thing in our DNA which we've had for centuries of planning. We have always planned and taken our future in our hands. We've taken our destiny in our hands as Edo people throughout our history. And today it will not be different, because the same people who built the boats, the same people who created the works that the world, has adorned the world today, are the same people who live here as we speak. I believe that we are set for the future. I believe that we are on a path to restoring the glory of the new Edo nation. And by the grace of God, when we leave office on November 12th, the person who will take over and the administration that will take over from us will have inherited what we didn't have a privilege of inheriting. I now hand over the master plan touch for your future to you. Make sure you keep it, you nurture it, and you grow it.
The Commissioner for Physical Planning, Housing, Urban and Regional Development, Commissioner Isoken Omo, provided additional insights into the master plans, emphasizing their data-driven and stakeholder-engaged approach. Commissioner Omo revealed that over 22,000 properties were visited during the planning process, and 27 consultations were held with stakeholders across all 18 local government areas of the state.
Actually, we've had this is the fourth master plan from Midwest, which was the Polsi plan, and then we had the Bendel State plan of Doxasis, and then in 1992 we have the Upper Iwana plan. In 1992 they started doing things differently, in that they started planning for the major cities. So we do have a Benin City master plan, Auchi master plan, Ekpomak master plan, Irua master plan. But all of these plans, if you look at them today, they are not up to 30% in implementation. Because what had happened was, these plans were designed, most of the time, with people from outside of this country. The Polsi plan was done in the United Kingdom. The Doxasis plan was done in Greece. It's only the Obayiwana plan that is localized. So these people sit wherever they are, they come and get the brief, they look on their maps, and they do a design for us. And they send these designs, we are not participating, and they do a big launch of these designs, and the designs just go on one shelf. So the government is going this way, and the designs are going the other way. That is what has happened. So but right now, we have said, let us come and involve our people. Because if we don't not do that, then any plan we are going to design will actually not be implemented. We believe that these master plans will be implemented because they are people-centric and they are data-driven. For an empire that was considered and acknowledged as a place that was planned and more beautiful than Lisbon in the 16th century, we want to go back. And that's what we're talking about, the glory of the new Edo nation. So what have we done? We have visited over 700,000 homes. We went to the 18 local governments in the 3 senatorial zones. We met with 27 different sets of stakeholders in our states. We went externally as well to gather data and to ask them, what do we want?
Additionally, the Commissioner for Education, Dr. Joan Oviawe, announced that the new master plans would be integrated into the state education curriculum. Dr. Oviawe explained that this integration would help equip students with the knowledge and skills necessary to contribute to the state's development, ensuring that the master plans are not just theoretical documents, but tools for real-world application.
We in the education sector feel very privileged that we have been given this opportunity today to showcase how we intend to incorporate the 15 sectors that are in the Edo State Master Plan into our school curriculum. So, Your Excellencies, throughout today's very brief program, you're going to see our students and pupils showcase how they have imbibed the master plan. And the reason we have congregated everybody here this morning is to make sure that everybody within the education ecosystem understands and knows about the master plan.
The governor very recently approved the setup of this project monitoring team, which is very, very clear and fundamental. And that project monitoring team has been inaugurated by the immediate passes to the state government. It's important that we monitor the projects that will be executed between now and the next 30 years to ensure that what you have seen virtually becomes a reality.
You cannot try the system of creating an environment that is filthy. So the first thing we need to do is to ensure that we take ownership of our spaces, whether it's just spaces where we live or where we do business or we even go to school. That is number one. The number two of it is we must be willing in trying to own the environment, especially with the children of today. We should be able to transfer their properties and adopt a trade. Because the environment that you rightly mentioned earlier is the right to be in terms of recreation. There's nothing to do about recreation in terms of physical space and all of that, and not being able to have a great environment. So the entire physical space itself should be an encouraging system or ecosystem that encourages recreation. And that recreation actually starts from your home by making sure that when you live has some green surroundings, trees, and all of that.
Before now, from the record, the Edo State only had about 277 mining companies, which these companies are not translating the value to the communities. So we went ahead to do a lot of application and profiling so that we'll be able to know what they are doing at the moment and the minerals that are extracting and what we need to do with those minerals. The Ministry of Mining and Energy, as of today, can tell you for free that we know about mineral intelligence, we have our record of that. Then we can also tell you the plans and the vision the government has set for the remediation as well as control of mineral mining hazards in terms of food security. So far, Edo State now is the leading mining state in Nigeria because we have about 77 different mineral groups in clusters. We're also telling you right now that we can now control the issue of community engagement, which is one of the major crises in mining sector.
We in the ministry have explained exactly what we think are the challenges within the sector. I think it is very true, stating the fact that agricultural revolution leads to industrial revolution. And if that must happen, we must begin to readdress our policy position. And that we have done. The revolution we are witnessing in Edo today is called the policy change. For instance, for us to drive, growth in the smallholder agribusiness, we needed to develop capacity within that sector. For instance, if you look at our life ending program in the Ministry of Agriculture, where we send incubators to incubators for training, we have about 3,000 of them so far. Some of those incubators now are not incubators. That's why they are not training, but they have been trained. So they don't have apprenticeship within them. You see, we did not just stop there. Our policy that have brought in investment, created an enabling investment for agro-investment is beginning to yield results.
The future for us as very committed is to look at our technology as we speak, and you can check this data. Edo is the safest place right now in Nigeria, and don't take my word for it. do your analysis 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. We used to hear armed robberies, regularly you don't hear all that anymore. Kidnapping has been reduced drastically by way of investment in technology and tactical force. So for us, we're looking at a dome that is saved by our communities. Why community policing? Because the behavior of the guy in Abebe is not from the behavior of the guy in Gomasuwa. And so we understand the behavioral patterns of the people of Edo State. Our tailoring our security architecture to align with those various cultural norms and behaviors.
For preservation, we are working very closely through different levels of collaboration with both international, global, and subnational partnerships and collaborations to ensure that we are able to work with our existing practices. I'll give you an example. The Museum of West African Art. We have worked very closely with foundations across the world, international donor agencies, to ensure that what we have in Edo in terms of culture and heritage is preserved at all times. If you go to the Boba campus today, we are, for the very first time, having live archaeological days. This is unprecedented anywhere around our climate. Edo is leading in that direction.
Today, history is being made before our very eyes. What was always said about the governor as Toknadu when we went for the stakeholders meeting has come to be today. And it's very correct. He does what he promises. There was nothing he has said he will do that he has not done, and I commend him for that. This is the mark of a great leader, and indeed His Excellency Mr. Obaseki is one. His Excellency's drive and passion to make Edo great again is indisputable. This has been actualized through numerous programs and projects that has been made, and it is real in Edo State.
Your Excellency's mind today is just to appreciate every one of you that has found time to be here with us, to join us to celebrate this beauty of a document, the Edo State Master Plan. Not just that, for every one of you who had to contribute in one way or the other to the development of this document. Our thanks especially go to you. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, beyond the huge infrastructural development that has happened over the last 7.5 years in Edo, for which Edo is being consistently celebrated, beyond the human capital development that has happened in an unprecedented manner in the history of this state by this administration, beyond the several firsts that this administration has called on several fronts, inclusive of having taken Edo State Public Service to become the only one in the history of this country to have moved completely from paper to paperless. There's no other one in this country. Beyond all of that, Your Excellency, the best legacy this administration will be leaving behind is this document, which is the pathway to the future.
God will know here say Obaseki. He has been outstanding. This gathering today is the fulfillment of the start of a glorious journey. We cannot help but carry our oars and paddle to greatness. Come, let's mega together.
As Edo State moves forward with these ambitious plans, the state government remains committed to ensuring that the development is inclusive, sustainable, and beneficial to all its citizens. Irene Ejoba, PFM TV News.